It's like all about like money and investing, and it's all good.
None of the stuff you like?
Yeah, it's just boring.
We've got the most boring episode ever coming up. This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 62 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're not excited about this show, this episode, but at least pretend for our faithful Real Word listeners or viewers, whichever you may be.
I'm here.
All right. Nicole's not thrilled because this is a lot to do of like CEO, financial, public traded companies, their decisions. But this is big news in the industry, so we've got to cover it.
Of course. I hear you. I think that it's all really great big news. A
lot of agents, commenting on Facebook and Instagram and all these different places, Twitter.
Okay.
Are you jumping into those feeds?
Nope.
No. All right.
Nope.
Well, we're still going to get Nicole's 2 cents. I'm super pumped about it. Let's get right into racket number 1. Zillow fires Spencer Rascoff, the CEO for the last 14 years of Zillow. They replace him with one of the co-founders, Rich Barton. And let's give a little bit of Rich's background. This is a guy who was a venture partner at Benchmark, a VC firm, and has been an early stage investor in companies like Netflix, Instagram, WeWork, of course, Zillow. This is after he left Microsoft and started Expedia, and he was the CEO there for about 3 or 4 years, which obviously we know how Expedia changed the travel game.
For sure.
When they founded Zillow, their thought was, okay, let's make the real estate purchase easier for consumers. They feel like they've accomplished that to some degree, but they continue to use a very specific word. When every article you pull up, you can find Zillow using this word that they are at a point of, what was it, inflictionness? Well, I don't even remember the word. It was so over my head.
You had to Google it and look it up.
I did Google it. Here's the word. They're at an inflection point. And if you look up the definition, a point of a curve at which change in the direction of curvature occurs. So there is so this is their own words. We are at an inflection point, and big change is certainly coming. We've got a few articles.
We've been talking about that for like months.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is the first real sign that Zillow's like, yeah, there is huge change.
They're listening. They were listening. And
so we're going to link up a couple of different articles. If you're watching in YouTube, just go to the description. You'll find these links. I'm looking at an article right now from Market Watch. Zillow is betting big on flipping houses, and investors seem to like it. So when the news broke last week, Spencer Rascoff out as CEO, the stock initially after hours on, I think it was Thursday, went down 8%. But then when they released their projections that their iBuyer platform, the Zillow's offer service, is going to bring in billions and billions of revenue, then the stock started jacking up, and it actually had its best trading day ever at over 20% in gains on Friday. Now, keep in mind, Zillow over the last 12 months went down 25%. So something had to happen. You can go back. I don't know, Suave doesn't have enough time this week.
I think at least 10 episodes.
You can go back on so many episodes where I have screamed.
Buy Zillow.
Well, I've screamed buy Zillow when they went down because I said they're going to go back up. But I've also said this. If Zillow, and remember the last 12 months, their stock has gone down considerably, 25%. I have said so many times, if Zillow stock gets low enough, they will make dramatic changes. How many times did I say that?
Well, there was
you
also
can replay that over and over again.
There was also an episode that I think we talked about the fact that we knew Zillow was going through a change because they were running in the red. They've been running in the red.
Well, they've been doing that forever, yeah.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, and now they're. And Barton even says like there's going to be lots of money being invested in this iBuyer thing. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's something that they're committed to doing. So again, that's things were brewing in the background. Things were
Zillow
brewing in the background for sure.
Zillow Group Incorporated believes Uberized consumers want to instantly buy and sell homes on their phones, so it is making an even bigger bet on real estate buying despite projections that carry a lot of risk. This is a racket. They don't have enough data at this point to say that consumers want to instantly buy and sell homes on their phone. That's a complete racket. You guys need to understand that. What's not a racket is that they're generating a ton of leads that they can go now and charge Nicole White and Agent A and B and every other agent out there to hand these leads off, because
as a listing lead, because they've only been able to generate buyer leads up to this point.
I mean, everybody says it. Redfin says most people don't take the offer that we give them.
Yep.
You know, like a lot of people aren't taking these offers. So for Zillow to say that more people are going to want to buy and sell instantly on their phone, the data does not show that. It just doesn't. What it does tell me is that they believe their revenue from agents is going to come from this side, the listing side, more than it has the last 14 years in Spencer's run, where it's been to generate buyer leads.
Right. That's all they've done. That's all they've pretty much done is generated buyer leads.
So to me, it's still going to be another example of what we talk about all the time. More commission compression. They're going to continue to take a chunk out of this commission pie in real estate, but they're going to do it on the listing side now. I just don't believe that there is an overwhelming, and the numbers don't show it, right? The numbers don't show it. An overwhelming amount of people that are ready to fully automate this process. Furthermore, like, you can go and look, and we're going to get into it in racket number 2, like how much less you have to take to be able to instantly sell your house.
Right.
Like, you have to take a lot less money to sell your house this way.
Right. I think that that's really where the positive is. You know, maybe your parents passed and you just want to get rid of the house, or you're going through a divorce and you just want to get, I think there's so many situations where maybe this is a benefit. And in all honesty, if you're talking about all of America, there may just be enough opportunity for them. Even if they're just buying bank-owned properties, like they could be sort of gobbling up those bank-owned properties because they're seeing investors making money off of them. It'll be interesting to see. And it's interesting too, because obviously all of our topics are very closely related, because they all sort of have different
this is what's happening in this
different rackets.
This iBuyer thing is, a huge deal. Do I think that iBuyer platforms and services are going away? Absolutely not.
No, I think if anything, we'll see them more and more, especially when people start realizing that they're incredible lead generators. And
it's a percentage of the market. I will have to send you this, and maybe you can pop it up. Tom Ferry did a video recently where he says, hey, right now iBuyers have this percentage of the market. It's a really small piece of the pie. He goes, well, in 5, 10, 15, whatever it is, whatever he said, 5 years, it could look like this. Like, that piece of pie could go like this, right? And who are they squeezing out? They're squeezing out some agents. It's gonna squeeze out some of these house flippers or We Buy Home on the telephone poles, like those types of businesses, right? Like, that's where it's not going to take everything. It's not 100% of the market,
right?
But it is going to take a bigger piece than it has today, and that's what Zillow is betting on is that piece of the pie expanding, and they want to get it before Open Door does, or name whoever, right?
Right. Yep.
Nicole?
Yeah.
Are you all right?
We're good.
Nicole, all right? Take her.
I'm agreeing.
Take her temperature.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm here.
So is it a racket? Do you think think it's a racket that they got rid of Spencer?
No, I think that
Poor Spencer.
There needed to. Well, he's not going away. He's still very much part of the.
He's fine. He's gonna do fine.
He's part of the Zillow group still. Something had to happen. Something had to change. If not, something had to give. There were so many things happening in 2018.
They went through a lot
Yeah, with pissing off agents,
Yeah.
getting rid of leads, saying they don't need leads. There were lots of things that they tried to implement or wanted to implement. It wasn't working.
The mortgage program,
but again, they're not dumb. I mean, they saw it and they pulled the trigger rather quickly.
If nothing else, changing the CEO and saying, "Hey, we're expecting billions out of this," it helped the stock up 20%. So for that day, they're looking good. They're feeling good about it.
So I'm interested to see how it all continues for Zillow.
Yeah, it's one thing I will say is it's going to continue, unlike maybe Racket number 3, where we talk about another company which I don't think has as much time to continue their journey as Zillow did or does. All right, Racket number 2, and this what a great segue. See, this is why I'm so pumped about this show, Nicole.
So pumped, it's so great. We're piggybacking it
right there.
Yep.
Agents, or will agents be the real winners in the iBuyer game? Is that a racket?
I do not believe that's a racket. Why do you think it's a racket?
No, I don't think
it's a racket at all. Again, like we said in the first one, it's really this iBuyer thing is going to be an incredible lead source. I think it'll also help agents be able to continue to show their value as well, especially if these iBuyers are sort of offering them, $1 and you can show them the value of, listing with them, and they'll get $5 for their home. Obviously I'm using really small numbers here, but so I think it could like flip,
it could help the agents
for sure, absolutely, especially if as long as these sellers aren't in like freaks like I need to sell.
Yeah, if you
in
need to
2
sell
weeks.
quick, I think this is an option for somebody that needs to sell quick.
So as long as the seller has the time and is allowing them the opportunity to sort of investigate a little bit more.
So 100%. I'm going to urge you to go ahead and go to YouTube. Obviously, throw us a like, a thumbs up. We did get all those thumbs down.
Well, you told them to. Does that hurt you somehow?
I don't know, but
is there some negative
subscribe to the
there?
channel anyways while you're there. But go into the description, grab this article. Bernice Ross on Inman.com does a phenomenal job of breaking this down. I really think she, just a great job. It goes into some, and she takes from Forbes here and breaks down a scenario. I'll go over it really quick. If you purchase your home for $400,000, 20% down, you showed up with $80,000 of your own money, which is also your equity at the time of purchase.
Of course. If
the home value remains the same, right, over time, $400,000, which Connecticut people can relate to that a little bit. And an iBuyer, whether it's the Zillow Instant Offers we talked about, Racket number 1 or whoever, offers you $380,000 for your home, which is a 5% discount of fair value, you will lose that $20,000 to have a quick sale plus pay 5% commission, an additional $19,000. So you're in for $39,000. This is a higher transaction cost compared to selling on the open market for $400,000. Same number, right? It's worth the $400,000 because say you pay 6%, you're going to pay $24,000 on the 4, where you paid $39,000 before. $15,000 when somebody's selling their home is a lot of money. Certainly when the home value didn't change and you're taking a loss. Either way. Right. So are you willing? And she, I think, brought it up at 5%. So at 5%, it's literally $20,000 compared to $40,000. So you'd be giving up close to 50% of your equity for the convenience of a quicker sale. I can promise you right now that's not going to be for 100% of the market. Never, ever, ever, right? There are going to be people that don't want the convenience sale. They want more of the money. On the flip side, you see it all the time, right? Nicole works with a lot of investors that, they buy homes from people that need a quick sale. Maybe it's 3, 4, 5 family members and they were left a house and they all live in different states and they just or
there's like a roof leaking or even just I got a call the other day. Someone wanted to list a house but their septic had failed. They're like, can we put it on the market? I was like, I mean, you're better off getting like a small loan to put the septic in so that you're not, because then all that can buy it are people that can pay for cash. And then, I mean, at that point, you're then just driving your price down because maybe your house is perfect, but you don't have a septic. You can't finance that.
And oh, by the way, the iBuyer program sounds great up front, but if they've got to come in and replace that septic, guess who pays the fee? The fees get passed down to somebody, right? Through the discount or just through this is what we were charged, and now when we sell it, you're going to incur these fees.
Right.
Right?
Well, they have to, because I mean, where is Zillow making their money then?
So Bernice goes on to say, when consumers
Or
are
iBuyer.
informed, and this is what we're talking about, what are the total fees in this iBuyer platform? When consumers are informed, traditional agents usually win 100%. Certainly, if you are looking to get the most money for your house.
Or have the time to at least try to sell the house in a traditional way.
We talked about it on last week's show. You should go check it out. How bad those Open Door and OfferPad Yelp reviews, like 3-star, and they're getting buried. Like people are not having a great experience. The Redfin CEO Glenn Kelman says most customers who get a Redfin Now offer do not take it, which is why I called Racket on Zillow saying that customers want to do this. They're not typically taking these offers. They're much lower than they can get on the open market.
But wow, they have a lead now that they can sell to an agent for
this was super
some money.
This part here, if you're an agent, how to compete against iBuyers, you've got to go and read this. This is really interesting stuff. A lot of times they'll give you a 30-day window as the homeowner to take their offer or not.
Right.
So you got 30 days to take it. So you can sit on that for 30 days. You could go hire an agent on a 20-day listing.
29-day listing. Would you do that? Would you take a 29-day listing?
I would. And
Yeah?
here's what I would do if I was an agent. Now, we don't take 29-day listings.
I was going to say, wow, I hope our agents hear this.
Yeah, no. So we don't take 29-day listings, but I would take it in the scenario of, hey, I know you've got this offer. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and do a 29-day listing, right? And if you decide to go take that offer, all you're going to owe me is blah, 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 blah.
Like the photo fee, like all that stuff.
I'm gonna show them a fee. It'll be a la carte. Like, we can do this, this, and this. If you go ahead and decide to take that offer, boom, you're going to owe me, we're talking hundreds of dollars for these bare minimum things that we're going to go out and do in the 29-day listing. But that's such a small investment for, in the scenario before where you could get another $20,000 for your home.
Right.
But you've got to be able to sit down and show people the difference between the market value and what they're being offered and how you can get them to there.
Right.
Right. And if you can truly get them to there, then yeah, go ahead and take that 29-day listing. The other part of this that I think agents, including ourselves, are going to have to think about in the future is, how do I just offer, okay, you want an iBuy offer? You go get the Zillow one, go get that one, but here's mine too.
Well, yeah, they're saying there in that article it was talking about actually agents, if they don't sell it, offering to buy the home.
Right. You've always heard there's a lot of people that run those radio ads like, I'll buy your home.
Yeah.
Right. I think there's something to that by saying, I've got an offer for you, or I have a pool of investors right here. Right. It's the local approach. It's the same thing.
Right.
Here's my pool of investors. Now, what I do like about the iBuyers is those local investors who have always just cleaned up over the years. They better sharpen their pencil and not rip people off.
Oh, well,
because this is up in the game for those flippers.
There's lots of things that are going to be happening in my mind to the investor community. I mean, you're going to have to do a lot more in my mind, but you're also, I think that whole industry is going to change dramatically this time around.
I mean, think about this. You have 3 siblings that were left the house, right? You got all 3 different.
Well, but everybody wants to get I want to flip a house. Like,
no, but they really don't want the house. They don't want to flip it type of thing. And they definitely want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
You're going to have one of those, maybe you have one person that's local.
Yep.
They talk to the local investor.
Right.
I got the number. The other 2 people are going to be like, well, hold on there, Jimmy. I went on Zillow. I've got an instant offer right here. And the other one says to Jimmy, I've got the Redfin offer. And so now they've got 3 data points. And if the local guy is just like, hey, they need to sell, I'm trying to just get it, he's going to be out. If Zillow and Red Door are offering, and oh, by the way, they're going to close in like
you mean the agent's going to be out? The agent will be out, you mean?
No. I'm talking about the flipper perspective.
So the flipper, so somebody knows
the flipper, the local flipper could be out because they're trying to really, they've had no competition is my point.
Well, there's actually,
amongst each other.
Yes, there's plenty of competition out there for sure.
But they don't have the competition of, until now, these iBuyers.
Yeah.
Where they're literally having to bring their price up, because sometimes they're buying it for 5% less than market value. What flippers buy for 5% less than market value?
But that's a whole nother story too, because there are plenty of flippers that are just stupid enough to do that, because they're fine making $4,000 on a flip.
Yep.
I'm sorry, like that's not a business plan. But again, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But yeah, no, I think they will. But I think that, in all honesty, if you're an investor and you really are smart, like you should also, I don't know, you can't, oh Lord, it's like you can't just start upping your numbers just because like Zillow is ready to up their number either, you know?
No, but what my point is, your margins are getting shrunk.
For sure. Well, it'll be interesting to see, though, what actually happens to these homes on the flip side. Like, that will be super telling, because gosh, there's so many things that could happen there, especially if it's a home that needs a lot of work.
I mean, and this is what we're talking about here, agents being able to offer this as hey, I've got the investors here locally. This is a pool of investors. Here's your offer. It's good for 14 days, 20 days, whatever. Mm-hmm. Open door. This is a great line here in this article. At Imminent Connect, New York, somebody mentioned Open Door's worst nightmare was 160,000 Keller Williams agents in people's living rooms waving around an iBuyer brochure saying, "Oh yeah, and we can do that too."
Right.
Like, listen, iBuyers aren't going away, but I do think the agents are going to have a big part of where that goes in the future. I don't think everybody's going to last, and I don't think Zillow's going anywhere. So if you're Open Door, these other ones, you better start thinking about what your value add is besides a quick sale. All right, moving on to Racket number 3, a company that certainly couldn't figure out what their value was to the consumer, might be out of the American market altogether if things start trending this way. Purplebricks, not only executives are leaving, but their stock just went down 39%. Is it a racket to think that the discount brokerage model like Purplebricks is on its way out as the market shifts?
Well, it's super interesting, because if you read the article, they've gone from charging like $2,000 for a listing now up to $6,000, because they know that it doesn't work.
Yeah, so
they know the model is not working. There's no way to sustain it. So now they're upping their costs, which again is sort of contradictory of why the company even started.
This worked well in Europe, Purplebricks, where the average commission is like between 1% and 2%. But when you come over here to America and are a little bit arrogant and are a little bit like, our model just works, like we don't have to change it. And let's just look at the numbers that you referenced. They came in at $3,200. List with us, $3,200. You don't have to pay fees, this and that. But then they increased it to $3,600. Now when consumers search their website, what do they see? They see that in Vegas, it's $4,950. They see that in Las Vegas. Oh, that's in Las Vegas. They see that in Queens, it's $5,950. They see that in Manhattan, it's $8,950. So we came into the market, we came in running radio ads and online ads saying $3,200, list with us, it'll be done.
Yeah.
And then you actually go to sign up, and it's a lot more than that, because it wasn't sustainable. You can't offer somebody great professional photography, great service, like automatic response time for $3,200. You can't do it.
No. Well, and you can't get enough people, I think, that are going to buy into it as well. I don't know. It's very interesting to see. And again, that was rapid. That was just 2018. They upped their prices that much.
A month ago, there was news Purplebricks said, and it referenced it in this article. This is from therealdeal.com, that they were changing their business model in America to something more traditional. Here's a prediction for you. You can run this one back if you missed out on investing in the Zillow stock like I told you guys to do a few months ago. Purplebricks will be out of the American market in 2 or 3 years max. They will be out. They will be done. The market is going down.
Right.
Okay?
Well, it's going to wash everyone out. Agents, companies, all sorts of stuff.
Every time the market goes down, the discount brokers, for the most part, get wiped out. Because when the market's down and think about it. If, there's 20 buyers and there's one home available, then yeah, Purplebricks would work fine, because I'll pay the lowest amount because one of the 20 people is going to buy it. In fact, I don't even need Purplebricks. I could probably put a for sale by owner sign in.
Right.
But when you've got 20 homes and one buyer and you really need to sell, you're not taking the discount approach. You're looking for a professional that can put you in the best position to be the needle in the haystack, to be the one person that actually gets their home sold. Purplebricks doesn't right now put you in that position. And they certainly don't have a clear plan. They're going through some executive shuffling, stock down 40%.
Right.
They don't have a clear plan that gets you there today. So they're just a complete racket right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is that your opinion?
That's my
What do
opinion.
you think? Nicole, you did a good job today.
I tried.
You know?
I wanted to talk about bathtubs and laundry rooms, but
You want to get in that? You want to do a bonus racket?
nope. We'll wait for
No?
next week.
We're
I
gonna
got
save it?
vetoed. We'll save it. We could talk about bathrooms and laundry rooms next week.
You better hope there's not a big news week in real estate this week
I always
to
get
mix
vetoed.
that Realtor Mag
I just
article
wanted to
back
talk about, building homes and real estate stuff.
We're going to mix. This is real estate stuff. We're going to mix in what's better, the clawfoot tub or the jacuzzi tub next week on The Real Word.
That's not at all what we're going to talk about, but
All right. Keep it real, guys. We'll see you next week.
keep it real. Keep it real.
Keep it real.